Day 248 of doing a LeetCode problem every day until I get a job. All right, y'all, we're back again another day, another LeetCode problem, and this time we're at day 207 course schedule. The difficulty level is medium, but don't worry, we're going to keep the solution as simple and easy to understand as possible. So let's get into it, y'all. The question says, there are a total of NUMS courses you have to take labeled from 0 to NUMS courses minus 1. You are given an array prerequisites where prerequisites of I equals AI, BI indicates that you must take course BI first if you want to take course AI. For example, the pair 0 and 1 indicates that to take course 0, you have to first take course 1. Return true if you can finish all courses, otherwise return false. So let's break that down and look at example 1 so we can see what it is that they want us to do exactly. So in example 1, we have norm courses equals 2, prerequisites equals a 2D array with the array being 1 and 0. The output is true. Explanation says there are a total of 2 courses to take. You take course 1, you should have finished course 0, so it is possible, right? So in order to take course 1, we have to take course 0 first, so we just take course 0, then we take course 1. Output is true. Excuse me, y'all. Now let's look at example 2, which will give us a case of where the output might be false because we won't be able to complete the prerequisites. So in example 2, we have the input num courses equals 2, prerequisites equals a 2D array, 1 is 0, and first array is 1 and 0, second array is 0 and 1. The output is false. Explanation says there are a total of 2 courses to take. You take course 1, you should have finished course 0, and to take course 0, you should have finished course 1, so it is impossible. So by looking at this example, we can see that it kind of, or not kind of, it does send us into a infinite loop of prerequisites that we will never be able to take, because if we want to take course 1, we have to take course 0 first. However, if we want to take course 0, then we have to take course 1 for it first, right? Which makes it impossible, because how are we supposed to take course 1 first if we have to take course 0 first? And then how are we going to take course 0 first if we have to take course 1 first? You see what I'm saying? It's an infinite loop that they got us in, infinite cycle that we won't be able to get out, which makes it impossible for us to take these prerequisites or any of these courses, which is why the output is false. So now that we understand the question, y'all, let's get into the solution. But before we get into the solution, y'all, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you need any new Apple AirPods, go ahead and check that link out in the description, y'all. So now let's get into the fun part, the actual solution, right? So the first thing we need to do is we need to create some type of mapping of courses to their prerequisites. So in order to do that, we're just going to create a variable, and we're going to call it premap. It's going to be a dictionary of integers. The key is going to be an integer. The value is going to be an array of integers, and we are going to initialize it with parentheses like so right there. Boom. Now we need to initialize the map with empty arrays for each course, right? So in order to do that, we're just going to say for I in 0 up to num courses, open up the brackets. We're going to say premap square brackets I. We're just going to set that equal to a blank array like this. Now we need to populate that map with prerequisites, right? So in order to do that, we're just going to say for rec and prerequisites. Got to check the spelling on that, y'all. Prerequisites, yep, should be right. We're gonna say premap. It's gonna be premap. Open up the square brackets. Rec square brackets again 0. Come outside those square brackets. Question mark dot append. Open up the parentheses. Rec square brackets 1. Now we need to create a set which will track the courses in the current recursion stack that we're about to create, and detect any cycles that we may come across, like in example 2, right? So in order to do that, first thing we need to do is create the set. So we are going to come right here, and we are going to say variable visit set. We call it visit set. We're going to set that equal to set. Then there'll be less than integers. So set of integers greater. So set less than int greater than, and then initialize it with parentheses like so. Now we need to define our depth first search function, which will check for the cycles, right? So this is where some recursion comes in. We're going to say func. This is still inside the main function. We're going to say func DFS, open up the parentheses, underscore CRS, colon, integers, come outside the parentheses, and it's going to return a Boolean for us, open up the brackets. Now let's get into it, right? So if the course is already in the recursion stack and we found a cycle, right? So if we find one of these cycles we're going to handle that right away. We're going to say, not guard. We're going to say if visit set dot contains, open up the parentheses, CRS, then what we are going to do is we are just going to open up the brackets and we're going to return false, just like that. Now we need to check if the course has no prerequisites and it can be completed. We need to handle that. So we're going to say if pre-map square brackets CRS, come outside those square brackets, question mark is empty, question mark true, open up the brackets, we're going to say return true. Boom. Now it's time to add after we do all that, now we need to add the course to the recursion stack if we haven't done so already. So we're going to do that, we're just going to say visit set dot insert, open up the parentheses, CRS, right? Now we need to recursively check all prerequisites for the current course. So in order to do that, we are going to say, we're going to come right here, we're going to say for pre and pre-map, pre-map, open up the square brackets, CRS, come outside the square brackets, put an exclamation point, then we're going to open up the brackets and we are going to say if exclamation point DFS, open up the parentheses, pre, we're going to open up the brackets, we're going to return false. So if any prerequisites cannot be completed, then we're going to return false. Now we're going to come underneath that for loop. What is that? Underneath that for loop right here. And we are going to remove the course from the recursion stack after we have already processed it. So in order to do that, we're going to say visit set.remove, open up the parentheses, CRS, just like that. Now we need to mark the course as having no remaining prerequisites to avoid any rechecking, right? So we don't want to recheck things or check things that we already checked. So we need to remove the course from the recursion stack. So in order to do that, all we have to do is say, y'all, that's what this is. We already removed it right here. So now we need to mark the course as having no remaining prerequisites so we don't recheck it, right? So in order to do that, we are going to, so we already removed it. Now we need to mark it as having no remaining prerequisites. So in order to do that, we're just going to say pre-map, open up the square bracket, CRS equals square bracket, empty array, just like that, right? Now, if all prerequisites have been processed successfully, then we can return true. So we're going to just come underneath that and we're going to say return true, right? But we're not done yet. We need to check all the courses. We need to make sure we check all of the courses using the depth first search function, right? So we got to come outside of the function now, and we're going to say for CRS in 0 up to num courses, open up the brackets, if exclamation point DFS, open up the parentheses, CRS, come outside of those parentheses, open up the brackets, we're going to return false. So if any course cannot be completed, then we're just going to return false. And then if if we get through all that, and if all courses can be completed, then we're going to come outside this for loop. We're just going to say return true. Now that should be all she wrote, y'all. Let's go ahead and run it. See how it runs. Make sure it runs how it's supposed to. Okay. So what does it say? Error: consecutive statements on the line must be separated by a, what do you call it? So, sorry, y'all. So this right here should be equal sign. I think that's right. That should be right. Should be an equal sign. So now let's run it. Let's run it. Okay, we're getting somewhere. So now error expected after if. Hold on. If. So where we go wrong here, right? So, this should be, we need to put a period right here. Sorry about that, y'all. Should be a period right there. Let's see. Let's run it now. Taking a little long. Oh, there it is. It's accepted, y'all. So let's submit it. Make sure it stays accepted after we submit it, because you know how this LeetCode stuff can get. Oh, 8 milliseconds beats 32.44% of users with Swift. Y'all, don't worry. We'll get those numbers up. It's accepted, though. Right now, we are just trying to get to the point in our LeetCode journey where we could solve a problem that's presented in front of us. And I feel like this was a good solution for solving the problem that everybody will be able to understand no matter what part of their LeetCode journey they're on. Don't worry about the time right now. We'll get those times up as we continue down our journey. Right now, we just want to have a simple solution that we will be able to understand and internalize, so we could use the knowledge that we gain from this solution down the line on further LeetCode problems. Y'all, that's why it's so important to internalize what we've learned and be able to internalize what we've learned so that we can use it later, y'all. So I hope y'all learned something today. Get one more look at the code before we leave, y'all. Get one last look at it. Read it, learn it, love it. I know it's a lot of code. It's a lot of code today, so get that, then get that. That's the last little bit right here. So yeah, I hope y'all learned something today, and I hope to see y'all here tomorrow for another day, another LeetCode problem. See y'all then.